أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطيع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. The praise is due to Allah. The praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. We praise Him, Allah. We glorify Him. We beseech His assistance, and we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the mischief of our own hearts and from any evil that follows. Whomsoever Allah guides, that person is guided aright. And whomsoever He leaves without guidance, there are none who can guide them. We give open and sound testimony, without hesitation, without reservation or embarrassment, that there's nothing worthy to be worshipped except Allah. And we give open and sound testimony that Muhammad, to whom the Quran was revealed, is His last messenger. The seal upon all of the prophets, upon all of them be the peace. Upon Muhammad's family, upon his companions, upon all who call unto this way of righteousness and to the day of judgment be the peace. Ameen. Dear Muslims, we begin as always by reminding you to be concerned about your relationship with Allah, to have taqwa, to be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a manner that's most befitting unto Him. And Allah, He instructs us in the Quran when He says, O ye who believe, fear Allah with what is His right, and don't die except in peaceful submission to the will of Allah. And He reminds us further, O mankind, reverence your guardian Lord who created you from one soul. And from that soul He created its mate, and from its mate He produced countless seeds of men and women. Reverence Allah from whom you demand your mutual rights, and never cut off the family ties. And know that Allah is always a watcher over you. And finally, as Allah reminds us, O ye who believe, fear Allah, and whenever you speak, speak directly and to the point, that Allah may adjust your conduct for you, make it wholesome and sound, and forgive you your sins. And know that whomsoever obeys Allah and obeys His messenger, they have already attained the highest achievement in life without doubt. As to what follows, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives to us in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخرى يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Allah says in the Quran, Ramadan is the month in which was sent down the Quran as a guide to mankind. Also clear signs for guidance and judgment between what is right and wrong, so that every one of you who is present at his home during that month should spend it in fasting. But if anyone is ill or on a journey, the prescribed period should be made up later. Allah intends every facility for you. He does not want to put you to difficulties. He wants you to complete the prescribed period and to glorify Him in that He has guided you, and perchance you might be grateful. My dear brothers and sisters, alhamdulillah, once again Allah has permitted us to approach and come near to the month of Ramadan. I say approach and come near because we're still not certain. We're still not certain if Allah will permit us to reach the month of Ramadan. When we look out into the Jama'ah and everybody from wherever you're traveling, when you look at those that you prayed beside over the course of a year, some of them, they're not present this year. Some of them have gone on to prepare for the judgment. None of us know for sure if we're going to reach this month. It's close. Alhamdulillah, if Allah permits, we'll be praying Salatul Taraweeh tonight, fasting tomorrow. But we don't know. We don't know what Allah has written for us. But what we do know is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His mercy, He's given us this month, the month of Ramadan. He says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, that perhaps you may acquire taqwa. So we know that this month that's approaching us is filled with many characteristics, many character traits. It's known as the Mubarak month. It's the blessed month. It's known as the month that helps us to realize taqwa. It's also known as the month of mercy. It's also known as the month of forgiveness. It's also known as the month of redemption from the fire, salvation from the fire. That's this month that's approaching us. But what we want to share today is one of its other character traits. It's the month of Quran. It's the month that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls the Quran to be revealed. And when you think about that, dear brothers and sisters, you have to put it in its proper place. What is the Quran to you and me? To you and I? What is the Quran to us? What does it mean to us? The Quran is a letter from God to you. It's a letter from Ar-Rahman to His servants. Filled with advice and guidance and direction pertaining to what's halal, pertaining to what's permissible, pertaining to what's haram. It's God's special letter to you. And I often, when I think about that, I think about this era before emails, before social media, before reaching out through all of the different outlets, the cell phones. Whenever we wanted to write to someone, whenever we wanted to share something with somebody who was far away, we wrote them a letter. We wrote it to our parents. We wrote it to our children if they were away in college. We wrote it to our loved ones. This letter, it was so important to our well-being that whomever received the letter from their loved ones, they read it over and over and over again. Whenever their hearts felt down, whenever they felt sad, they would pick up the letter. Maybe it's from an uncle, maybe it's from a grandparent, maybe it's from their mother or father. But whenever they felt sad, they would pick up this letter and just read it over and over again. The content didn't change, but it kept enriching the hearts. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's given us a book like that. He wrote this letter to you and I in order that we may develop taqwa. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, the one who has nothing from the Quran in his heart is like a deserted and demolished house. That's this month. This month that helps us revive and renew our commitment to the Quran. Uthman ibn Affan, he said, if our hearts were truly pure, we would never get enough of the words of Allah. He says, and I hate that one day passes with me not looking into the Mus'haf. He says, I hate that one day passes and I don't look into the Quran. Allah, He's given us this book. Maybe you've been negligent for 11 months. Maybe you've gone through the course of the whole year and never picked up the Quran once. Here's an opportunity, if Allah permits us to realize this month, here's an opportunity to renew your commitment to Quran. It is said that Imam Malik, that he would teach the people when Ramadan approached, he would free up his time for fasting and reciting Quran. He devoted himself to the remembrance of Allah by reciting the book of Allah. The Sheikh said, thus, you should give importance to reciting the Quran in this noble month, along with reflecting upon it and pondering about it, and to take heed of the admonition and take heed of that which is rebuked, and comprehend the halal and the haram in the clear understanding of Allah's threats and promises and things of this nature from the noble Quran. With this, the soul is purified and hearts are illuminated. Ibn Qayyim, he knows that the key to the life of the heart lies in reflecting upon the Quran, pondering over the Quran, reading the Quran, reciting the Quran. All of us, we're guilty of listening to sometimes lectures more than we read Quran, reading other textbooks more than we read Quran. But Ibn Qayyim, he said the key to the life of the heart is by reading the Quran. Allah, he says in the Quran, وَكَذَلِكَ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ رُوحًا مِّنْ أَمْرِنَا مَا كُنْتَ تَدْرِي مَا الْكِتَابُ وَلَا الْإِيمَانُ وَلَكِنْ جَعَلْنَاهُ نُورًا نَهْدِي بِهِ مَنْ نَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِنَا وَإِنَّكَ لَا نَهْدِي إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. And thus we have sent you an inspiration and a mercy of our command. You knew not what was in the book, nor what is faith. But we have made it, this Quran, a light wherein we guide whomsoever of Allah's slaves he wills. And verily you are indeed guiding mankind to the straight path. My dear brothers and sisters, it's this book, Quran, that we intend to review. That the Hufaz, they enter into the Masjids all over the world reciting the Quran. Rehearsing and reminding us of the message of Quran. And this book, this is the book that built the Sahaba. It's the book that built and shaped their personalities and molded them into individuals that caused Allah to call them the best of creation. Kuntum khayra ummatan ukhrijat linnas. That you're the best of people evolved for mankind. It was by virtue of this Quran, it was the tool that reformed, that reshaped, that restored, that permitted human beings to return to their humanity. It's this Quran. So when we look into our own lives, when we study and reflect and ponder on our own lives, and we find that we're not always civilized, that we're not always acting in the best human example, we see it manifesting itself in the killings in the UK and in Muslim lands when Muslims take each other's lives or take the lives of innocent people, that people have lost their humanity. The message for us is to return to the Quran. Allah says about this book, he says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This is the book, and it is guidance sure without doubt for those who have taqwa. It was the Sahaba's relationship with the Quran. They're reciting it at night and reflecting on it during the day. Their understanding of its universal and application of it that allowed them to become who they were. The Prophet ﷺ raised them to be attached to the Quran. Who from among us are attached to it? Who from among us make it a daily practice and a part of our diet? The scholars, they debate about what's the limits of those who are healthy in terms of reciting the Quran. Some say at least every 30 days. Some says 40 days. Others say at least review 10 verses from the Quran a day. Who can't do that? 10 verses, because the Sahaba, they talked about reciting 10 verses of Quran and then pondering over it, reflecting on it, and making sure that they could apply it to their day-to-day lives. But who from among us can't do that? Allah, he says in the Quran, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَأَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَأَنْفَقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ سِرًّا وَعَلَانِيَّةً يَرْجُونَ تِجَارَةً لَنْ تَبُورَ. He says, indeed, those who recite the book of Allah and establish prayer and spend in his cause out of what we have provided them secretly and publicly can expect a prophet that will never perish. Allah, he also says, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. He says, thus, step by step, we bestow from on high through this Quran all that gives help to the spirit and is a grace unto those who believe in us, the while it only adds to the ruin of the evildoers. Ibn al-Qayyim, he said, we and others have tried this on many occasions, that is, digesting this Quran, taking it as a medicine. He said, and we have seen that it works in ways that physical remedies do not. Indeed, we now regard physical medicine as the doctors regard folk medicine. What is he saying? He's saying have a healthy diet of Quran. Make the Quran a regular part of your life. He also said, Ibn Qatada said that nobody sits with this Quran except that when he stands with a benefit or a loss. And nobody sits and reads from the book of Allah except that he gains some benefit or he causes some loss. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said that this book will either exalt you or it will debase you. Ibn al-Qayyim, he also summed up 15 ways through which Allah may dispel worry and regret. In describing one of the ways, he says, letting one's heart wander in the garden of the Quran. Just thinking on this book, reading and studying this book, giving ourselves to this book. The Prophet ﷺ, he said the Quran is an intercessor, something given permission to intercede, and it is rightfully believed in. Whoever puts it in front of him, it will lead him to paradise. Whoever puts it behind him, it will steer him to the hellfire. My dear brothers and sisters, alhamdulillah, Allah is giving us an excellent opportunity. If we make it through the month of Ramadan, our hearts should be enriched with the Quran. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Allah says in the Quran, وَلَوْ أَنزَلْنَا هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ عَلَى جَبَلٍ لَرَأَيْتَهُ خَاشِعًا مُتَصَدِّعًا مِنْ خَشْيَةِ اللَّهِ وَتِلْكَ أَمْثَالُ نَضْرِبُوهَا لِلنَّاسِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Allah says, and had we bestowed this Quran from on high upon a mountain, thou wouldst indeed see it humbling itself, breaking asunder for awe of God. And all such parables we propound unto men so that they may learn to think. Imam al-Jawdi, he said, Allah sent down the Quran upon his Prophet ﷺ and taught him the greatness of that which was sent down to him. And he informed his creation in his book and upon the tongue of the Prophet ﷺ that the Quran is a protection for those who resort to it, that the Quran is guidance for those who seek guidance from it, that the Quran is a satisfaction for those who seek satisfaction, that the Quran is a guardian from the fire for those who follow it, that the Quran is a light for those who seek light from it, a cure for that which is in the chest, and that it is guidance and a mercy for the believers. My dear brothers and sisters, we can't emphasize enough that of all of the things that we can do, include in our fasting, it has to be the reading of Quran. Take the time to ponder and reflect and find someone whom you can read with, someone who can help you if you're learning to recite Quran in Arabic, somebody that you can inspire and that can be inspired by you in the reading of Quran. and the pondering and the reflecting on the message of Quran. This is what purifies. This is what transforms. This is what alters bad hearts. It did it for many of us, sitting in these rows, standing here. It's the Quran that changed us. So utilize it. Take advantage of it. The people, some of them will permit the shaitan to distract them because they'll begin to discuss how much Quran should you read. Should we read behind a hafiz? How much Quran should the hafiz recite? How many rakats should he be reciting? 8, 20, 39? Take advantage of the Quran. Don't permit yourself to fall into those arguments. Recite what is easy for you. Stand in line as long as you can. Observe the Taraweeh prayer if you desire to. Pray tahajjud at home. Take advantage of the Quran at every free moment. Do not permit yourself to fall into arguments about these things. We're talking about the book of Allah. Benefit from it in whatever way you can. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu tasliman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم وأقيموا الصلاة